This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, there we go. Marcel Louis-Jacques is ready to go, and the Miami Dolphins. So, Marcel, did you think you were signing up for Circus?
I was. My agent told me that Miami was going to be more interesting, and he's not been wrong so far. Just when I thought we were making some progress on that coaching search, then of course this bombshell drops on Tuesday, and I think it's going to be a minute before we get to the end of it, man. This is going to be an eventful offseason.
Oh no, that's off season. That thing's going to last a couple of years, bro. They're going to drag this thing out. And if Flo doesn't really want to check, although his lawyer, I heard him say, this will be more than about a check. So if he does want to try to force some change, this is going to take forever. And, one of the things that I've come to realize that I think is going to end up happening here is the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, and if the Cleveland Browns, if there's anything to what Hugh Jackson says and there's any truth to it, I think they will galvanize. And I don't think, for Dolphins that were hoping to get rid of Stephen Ross, I don't think the NFL is going to do that because this will be a stain on the entire league if you open up this Pandora's box. So instead, I think they're going to try to fight it. And unless Ross has tangible proof, not he said, I don't know how he proves this. And I think the league will fight it all the way to the end because they're getting tied to, gambling entities and things like that. They can't have these kind of doubts lingering about the league. So I think they're actually going to go the other way, and maybe you won't end up losing Ross. You might get Ross protected in a Snyder way, like the league has done.
Yeah, well, here's my hang up on this situation. Brian Flores, over the past 3 years, have you known him to be a big media guy?
No.
Have you known him to want to do interviews? No. I mean, this is not his comfort zone. So for something to push him to the point where he will go do 3 nationally televised interviews in a morning, like, this ain't fluff, man. Like, there is something to it. His lawyers say that they have corroborative evidence. They say they have witnesses. The witnesses, it's not as critical as the evidence that they mentioned. But I think there is something to this, man. Like, obviously, they say there's 3 sides, right?
No, I believe.
Sides,
I
right?
believe. No. I'm not saying Flo is lying. Okay, I believe, dude. I saw he went after Harbaugh with Sperano in place. So Ross is already guilty by association of doing stupid things. He celebrates the Gators while his tenant is UM. This guy has no awareness. So I believe Flo 100% that he was offered the 100K. But if there's no tangible proof, if there's no piece of paper, if there's no email, if there's no text, if there's nothing that ties it to, and it's just he said, the league will galvanize, the teams will galvanize against him, and it'll be left as a myth. It'll be you guessing, did Ben Roethlisberger did rape her or not? Did OJ kill him or not? Is Area 51 real or not? All of these things that we have in our world that has happened, and we keep wondering, did Barry Bonds shoot up or not? Because his head got really big. All of these things that we're left in kind of the gray area, and your gut tells you whatever you want to believe. That kind of. That's what I think the NFL is shooting for, and to leave that gray area where we never will really know, and then they can move on.
Yeah, what bugged me about the NFL's initial statement was, I understand that you want to defend yourself. I understand if you want to distance yourself from allegations, but
I know where you're going.
Like, you know what I mean? Don't come out and immediately say, these are inherently false. These have no merit. Like, they clearly have some merit. He's got text messages from Bill Belichick. There is some merit to it. Your first step should always be, if you really want to show open-mindedness, your first step should always be toward recognizing the possibility that you were in the wrong.
Right.
And then you can distance yourself from it after that. We're going to investigate. We take these matters very seriously. We have always sought to do X, Y, Z. We're going to investigate. But to come out and just say, like, the way it read off of me was, we've got black coaches. These claims have no merit.
Right.
No way.
Right.
He's lying.
And we know it's completely the opposite. I mean, give me a break. Look, and I'll give you an example. I don't know. I don't know if the Giants' hiring practice was actually racist, but unfortunately, with the Giants, you have a track record, my brother. You've never hired a minority as a head coach, so it's you got nothing to stand on. You know what I mean? At least the Dolphins, you can never say that about the Dolphins, because if you walk in that building, it's as diverse as it gets. So that has a lot of minorities in it. So that part you can't charge it on the Dolphins, but the Giants, I can say, because I've been on the side where you're hiring people, and I've had an interview where, okay, that's the person I want for sure, but I already had 2 or 3 other people already set for interviews, so they were going to have to knock my socks off in order to get hired. You know what I mean? Because I already had somebody in mind. I said, okay, I found the person. So I've been in that position where I know how it's like, that if you do meet somebody that you like, you go, okay, this is it right here. Now, Mike Tomlin actually got the job that way, because Russ Grimm was the guy that they were going to hire. And then Tomlin was like a throw in at the end, and he came in and he knocked him out. And it was like, holy crap. Well, wait a minute. Maybe Russ is not the right guy. We're going to go here. You know what I mean? But the Rooneys are a little bit more open than most people. So it's a little different. That's why we call it the Rooney rule, at least. But
yeah, and that's just one. That is one example, one known example of the Rooney rule working. And I mean, how many openings do we have in this league per year, and how many times? So it's just, this is what happens when diversity is not organic. When you try to manufacture diversity, you try to manufacture open-mindedness and open thought, then people are going to just do it to check a box. Like it's like the same concept as Inception, man. Like, it's not your idea; somebody put it there.
Right. No, you're 1,000% right. The sad part is, it'll never change unless you're the NBA. That's it. Unless you're willing to change as a league, the faces of the people that own your teams, the faces that run your teams, the faces that coach your team, that you are willing. See, the NBA, it's all about inclusion, female, gays, blacks, Latins, Asian, doesn't matter who you are, bro. They don't give a crap, and they resemble more our society than anything else. And unfortunately, no league comes even close to actually understanding diversity the way the NBA does. Only league.
And the NBA has made a pretty prominent push to be a global league. I mean, they obviously have a huge market in China. There is an international system, basically not a technical system, but I mean, they regularly have players drafted from the Euro leagues. Like,
we have FIBA, dude. I know it's soccer and basketball. Those are the 2 ultimate international sports. Yeah, I know there's boxing and
baseball tries, but
a little baseball, but basketball is the only true international sport next to soccer. Only one that you can really say. You know how many basketball leagues there are in this world? I mean, dude, almost tons of countries already have their own basketball leagues. Now, basketball is as diverse and legit as it gets in resembling us as a society. But again, you have some diversity in ownership. You have no diversity in ownership in the NFL, and until you get diversity in the ownership, it won't ever trickle down, man. It just won't.
We'll see what happens with the Broncos here, and that would be a massive step forward. Ironically, the Broncos are also, though, named in that lawsuit as a team that abused the Rooney Rule, and I'm curious if Flores has any evidence of that. That might be a little bit harder to prove, but
especially when John Elway looks like a human Shar-Pei, so he always looks disheveled. I mean, seriously, if you meet like John Elway in person, you look at him and you're like, whoa, wow, holy crap, you know, it's like, wow, there's a lot of wrinkles there, bro. There's a lot of there's there's a lot of stuff going on in
It's
that face, you know. So he normally looks disheveled. I just want to say he's kind of like the Nick Nolte of the NFL. I'm just saying. I'm just, you know, who knows? But the problem is he's going to have trouble making that change. That's the sad part about all of this crap. That you know there's an enormous problem. We know that minorities don't get the fair shake, but how in the hell do you change it, man? How, Marcel?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, right? If people knew how to change it, then in theory it would be changed already. That's what makes me a little skeptical of this process. You know, I am happy that Brian Flores was able to put his name to it and maybe start a movement. You know, everything's got to start somewhere. Change has to start somewhere. But this is the NFL we're talking, and you know, initiative after initiative we've seen from them more or less fall flat. You know, like what are we gonna get another decal on the helmet? I saw somebody tweet that the end racism decals in the end zone, they're going to make them 3 sizes bigger now in order to respond to this. Like what tangible change are we going to see? What can we see? I don't know. I don't have
Here's
the
a great
answer. Sweat.
example. Here's a great example. Why do women even watch football? Because for years the league does nothing. For decades, men are beating women constantly. For Christ's sake, when Ray Rice got in trouble, we had women wearing free Ray Rice shirts and signs. This
Yeah,
league knows it's Teflon, and it does not get punished for the beating of women, the mistreatment of minorities, the lack of, you know, any kind of equal level playing field out there. They are absolutely Teflon, dude. You know, their players could kill somebody, and next week they could be on the sidelines, and you know, it's nothing. It's crazy. Its players are played to a point that they end up with mental issues, and they're killing themselves right there in front of your facility, putting a bullet in their chest. And you know, we know that there's head trauma and concussion for decades, yet you know, this league is so Teflon. No
yeah.
matter what negativity comes through it, it never stops the machine. And nobody ever stops, no minority ever stops buying tickets, knowing that minorities get mistreated. Women don't stop buying tickets and going to games and buying the red zone and all that. We talk a lot of shit, but we don't do anything, and we allow them to get away with absolutely everything.
Yeah, whatever happened to you remember how many people were done with the NFL forever after they allowed after watching Kaepernick and Eric
Yeah,
Reed
all that crap. Right.
and Kenny Stills kneel on the sideline, or people who are never going to watch again. The league is doing Wilt Chamberlain numbers on television this year. Like people aren't going to stop. They own the day of the week. They're putting stock in more. And you know, now the NFL owns Monday and Thursday. It's going for Saturdays late in the year. Like it's an
Christmas,
unstoppable
Christmas. They
Christmas,
they
Thanksgiving.
took
Like
it away from the
it's an
NBA now.
impossible machine to stop.
That's
So
and
it, it,
and and that's the problem. It's the petulant child that is spoiled and acts like a brat, and the parents keep giving that kid everything. So then how in the hell is that kid ever going to learn? And they know it. These owners know that they're absolutely Teflon. And that's why they can get away with the mistreatment of minorities or women or homosexuals or whatever it is, or mistreatment of their players with, you know, brain injuries and all that kind of stuff, and they can sweep everything under the rug and they get away with it.
they
So,
do. And so without any tangible smoking gun, and that's the thing about the NFL, man. Like there's a lot of crazy stuff that you know is not public knowledge, but these teams' security departments, the league security departments, like these are former special ops guys These are, counterintelligence guys, that pivoted careers. There's a reason why a lot of stuff doesn't come out. There's a reason why, despite all the dirt that's happened in the NFL over the past however many years, you don't often see proof of that, because these are forensic security departments. That's why I'm curious what Brian Flores was able to hold on to, what on earth his lawyers found, because he just went to his lawyers I think the day he got the text message from Belichick, so January 24th. That was a week and change ago. What all have they found that warrants a class action lawsuit? It's one of those where obviously there's a lot of talking points and everybody's going to have an opinion on it, but it's going to be one of those where we really have to just wait and see and let the process play out.
No, I'm with you there. It's I'm so intrigued to see what kind of real tangible evidence, because he will be the first person in the history that will be able to bring the league to its knees, because the league will not want that evidence to come out because of the implications of it and everything else, like the Black Sox of the 1900s for baseball, and it was something that stuck with them for a while. Cheating is something that will be, the NBA and all that stuff. That's the NFL is not going to want to be tied to something like that. So I'm really intrigued to see what kind of evidence he has. All right, Mike McDaniel, what happens with this? He interviews tomorrow. Are you expecting any hurdles, any issues with it, or do you still think Mike McDaniel gets named coach of the Miami Dolphins by the weekend?
Yeah, so obviously last time I was on the show was Monday. That was Mike McDaniel's original, I don't want to say firmly scheduled interview, but that was the day that they were aiming for. Just things happened and it got pushed back into later in the week. I'm told Chris Greer has been telling people in the building that he would like to hire a coach by the end of the week. I'm not sure how much this current, Flores' lawsuit impacts that timeline, but there is a more of a sense of urgency this week from the Dolphins than there has been in weeks past. But it's really, again, I called Mike McDaniel the front runner on Monday. That part hasn't changed. I think based on resume, based on the pool of candidates, I think it's Mike McDaniel's job to lose at this point.
All right, there you go. What are you working on ESPN so folks can check you out, man?
Oh, shoot, man. We've been talking about it for the past 20 minutes. Everything is lawsuit and coaching search. That's
I don't know. You might have some nugget you're working on, bro. You might have a little something that you want to tease. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a good opportunity to tease. That's all.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have a whole slab of work ready after they make this coaching hire. Until then, it's all speculatory and source telling. It'd be as soon as we get something concrete on the table, then I'll bless everybody.
All right. Good stuff. And follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Marcel_LJ. Marcel, as always, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking some time. We will catch up next week, my friend.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. Follow him on Twitter, Marcel_LJ. Marcel Louis-Jacques.